So I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, are we creators of our reality, or are we just tuned into what we want to see? Does that make sense? Like, I know some people believe that we create our reality, and I can see that there is some truth to that, but it's, I think, predominantly based on how you perceive the world, what you're tuned into, and I believe we are magnets and we pretty much attract and repel our experiences based on what we're tuned into, like what frequency or vibration we are currently residing on, if that even makes sense. Because I think, like, creation in general cannot be, um, how do I say, confined to one particular scope, and it is very pliable and very, um, how do I say, it's very flowy. I don't know the word. Um, you know what I mean? Like, we can create heaven on earth, we can create hell on earth. Just depends on what you're tuned into, where your energy is flowing. So, where energy goes and flows, that's what you're attracting to yourself, and that is what you perceive to be your reality. So, it's tied into like thoughts and emotions, and it's not even like limited to your own thoughts and emotions, because anytime you interact with the environment or any person or being that enters your sphere of existence, there there's going to be like a power play between energies. You're either going to exchange energy with another person or being, and when I say being, it can be pretty much an animal, plant, any type of like entity. You have the opportunity to exchange energy, to allow them to take energy from them. So it just depends on the dynamics and how aware you are and how mindful you are. Because if you're unaware, then you're just going to kind of be drained or gamed, um, unconsciously, if that even makes sense. I've noticed, like, ever since I've acquired higher awareness, and I'm not saying like I'm like fully aware, there's still so much to learn, but I'm aware enough to be able to sense somebody's motives and what they're trying to manipulate um, me to do for them. You know what I mean? Instead of just blindly like allowing people to manipulate my energy, now I can kind of see what they're presenting to me, and then I can consciously accept or reject their offer. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but anyhow, so it's really interesting. So, um, for instance, let me give you examples. So, I think reality cannot be categorized or defined. It's completely dependent upon each individual's um, scope or field of vision, if that even makes sense. So, good example, I was with someone, we were driving, and I don't know what I was focusing on. I obviously wasn't seeing the things the other person was seeing, but they were pointing out like particular things or scenarios or things that they were seeing, and they would be like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't even see it. Like, it flew over my head. Like, I think I was like, I don't know, lost in my thoughts or like mulling over some type of like idea, you know, and I completely missed what you saw." And same thing, vice versa. Like, if I am tuned into something, the person I'm with could completely miss it. Or we could completely be together on that same frequency and totally tuned into the same like perception, and like have similar viewpoints on the current reality that we are experiencing. But yeah, I just think it depends what you're tuned into, literally. And the easiest way to, I guess, understand is I constantly reference like a radio station. So we're all on different radio stations, listening to different types of music, and some of us are listening to, like, I don't know, classical music. Some people are listening to rap. Some people are listening to heavy metal. Some people are listening to chanting, so it just depends where you're at. And each, um, I think, musical note has a different frequency and a different, like, vibration. So, like, you have some notes or music or tones that are lower vibration and some that are higher. So, if you're tuned into a lower vibration, and the person you're with is tuned into a higher vibration, you guys could actually be sitting next to each other but experiencing totally different things and seeing totally different things too. So I feel like the lower um, level or lower skills of existence, like when you perceive them, they feel very heavy and dense. And that's why we refer to them as negative. And then, like, the more positive and higher frequencies make you feel lighter, and little to no stress or tension incurs because you're just like feeling light and free. You know what I mean? You don't feel as heavy and tied down. But yeah, so you actually have the power to, I guess, perceive reality the way you want. And I guess that is a form of creation. I'm still thinking it over because I don't really think that. I mean, maybe we do. Maybe we do create reality. Maybe we are divine beings creating reality and then experiencing things, and then kind of like collecting the data from our experiences so that we can exchange with other beings, so that we can kind of grow our consciousness together and become more holistic instead of fragmented. And I mean, if you really want to like take it to another level, I feel like everybody is you. You know what I mean? So even if somebody is at a low vibrational frequency, that's basically an aspect of you that has decided to um, emanate that tone or rhythm and experience that reality. But it's a different version of you doing that. Yeah, so yeah, I've been noticing that, like, for instance, like I could be with someone and they'll notice like people fighting, or like they'll be super aggressive, so they'll attract like aggressive interactions, whereas I'm totally chilling out and I'm totally oblivious to that energy, and I'm like I'm looking at clouds, or I'm like focusing on my breath and the way the air feels going into my lungs and it being expelled from my body, like focus on stuff like that, being very present, being really mindful and conscious of my inner dialogue and thoughts. And then, the person that could be with me at the time is focusing on other things that I'm completely oblivious to. Yeah, so that's why, like, you can either like see the glass half empty or half full, however you want. Maybe it's the glass isn't even there. It just depends on what you're looking at or what you're seeing and what you're allowing to enter your experience. And again, like I said, we're like magnets. We attract things into our life. We attract certain people, we attract certain lessons, we attract certain experiences based on, I guess, what we are tuned into, what we would like to experience, what we would like to learn, you know what I mean? And I feel like once you like learn particular lessons, you don't have to really revisit them, and so it's not necessary for it to enter your experience. I don't know if you're following me. Anyhow, yeah, maybe I guess it boils down to whatever you're tuned into is what you're going to attract. So you can attract heaven, you can attract hell, you can attract something in between, you can attract something completely outside those scopes of reality. You know, it just is dependent on what you want to tune into, and it is a choice. I feel like the more conscious and aware you are, the more conscious and aware your choices will be. You know, if you're unaware, then your choices will be completely manipulated, or you will be easily manipulated by external circumstances. You know what I mean? If you're not aware of what's going on and the dynamics and how to kind of like be able to step back and then make a decision for your own instead of like being influenced by someone else or something else. Yeah. So every day, every moment, you choose, you know, do you want to feel a certain way? Do you want to see a certain way? Do you want to be a certain way? And if you don't, then you can consciously choose to change it like that. You know, it's just up to you. Or maybe you haven't grasped higher understanding, and so you need to kind of like keep cycling that particular mode of existence until you finally get it and you get tired of it, and then you decide to like snap out of it and move on. I think that's what it is, because when I was younger, I'd be like triggered by so many things, and now not many things trigger me. I mean, I still catch myself like responding or becoming like I still like experience the spectrum of emotions that human beings are supposed to experience. There's like a whole spectrum of emotions. I still like can feel all the different variations of emotions. It's just my reaction to them is much lower, to the point where sometimes I could just watch it and then move beyond it without even batting an eye, you know? Anyhow, this is running on long, and I think I'm going to end it. But if you learned something, that's amazing. If you didn't learn anything, that's amazing too. Tomato, tomato. Blessings to one and all. Take good care, and thank you for watching. Amen.